Welcome to Fan for Racing Radio. I'm Fan for Racing Sharon, and joining me today is Jay Huseman. And Jay, we're here for our Martinsville preview for the NASCAR Cup Series. And if this race is anything like Talladega, I was on pins and needles at the end of that race last week.
I think it certainly could be. We'll get into some of the details. But the big thing is, and don't let it confuse you like it did me, this is the Xfinity 500, not Xfinity Series race, but the Xfinity 500 for the Cup Series. And we got 37 drivers and teams listed for 40 spots, so nobody going home. We have the six teams, three from Front Row Motorsports, the number 4 of Noah Gragson, the number 34 of Todd Gilliland, and then the 38 of Zane Smith. And then on the 2311 side, you got the 23 of Bubba Wallace, the 45 of Tyler Reddick, and the 35 of Riley Herbst. The other additional open team is the number 66, Garage 66, and that'll be Casey Mears. Again, he's going for 500 starts, career starts, racing with Carl Long. So those are your drivers. Nobody will miss the field. And the more cars at Martinsville, the more exciting it gets.
Yes, indeed. This is going to be fun to watch. Like Jay said, this is the Xfinity 500 at Martinsville on the .526 mile asphalt oval. That race is Sunday, October the 26th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, the pre-race coverage will be on NBC and Peacock starting at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, and MRN Sirius XM NASCAR Channel 90 will carry coverage as well. They'll race the distance of 263 miles over 500 laps. Stage 1 is 130 laps. Stage 2, also 130 laps, will end on lap 260, and then stage 3 is going to be 240. Practice and Busch Light Pole qualifying will be on Saturday, October the 25th on True TV, MRN, and Sirius XM, and that will start at 4:30 p.m. on Saturday. Then Sunday's race, as we mentioned earlier, starts at 2 p.m. on NBC, MRN, and Sirius XM. So again, this is going to be an exciting race, an elimination race, where 4 will move on to the championship race at Phoenix, 4 will not.
And Martinsville, when it comes to the Cup Series, a lot of history, as this weekend marks the 113th running of a NASCAR Cup Series race at Martinsville Speedway. It's the 34th of 2025.
This is the elimination race. It's the third race. Okay, and the current playoff field won all 7 next-gen races at Martinsville. Wow.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that when we look at the cut line. But 2 of them, William Byron and Ryan Blaney, have won 4 of the 7 next-gen races at Martinsville, and they are 2 that are below the cut line.
Yes, they are. So they're going to be looking to go for that win. And unfortunately, only one person can be that winner.
That's right.
7 of the 8 playoff drivers have won at Martinsville, all but Chase Briscoe.
And the 6 remaining playoff drivers that are not locked into the championship 4 yet are all Martinsville winners with a combined 8 wins there. This is going to be so intense.
It is. A playoff eligible driver ranked 4th or worst in the playoff standings won 5 of the last 8 Martinsville races.
Now, one driver that was below the cut line entering the final round of 8 moved on to the championship 4 in 5 of the last 6 seasons, and 4 of them were more than 20 points back entering this final race.
Interesting. Now, the largest gap above the cut line to enter the final round of 8 race and miss the championship 4 is plus 42 by Kevin Harvick, and that happened in 2020.
And the largest cut line deficit ever overcome to move on without a win in the cutoff race is 22 points, and that was by Chase Elliott in the round of 12 in 2019.
Now, Christopher Bell holds the record for the largest deficit ever overcome in a playoff round by winning the round of 12 cutoff race in 2022 at the Roval. He was negative 45 going into that race.
Yeah, but he did that by winning. That's the key factor. Did it by winning.
Exactly right.
Now, Ryan Blaney won the last 2 cutoff races at Martinsville to transfer to that championship floor round, and he's looking to do it again.
Yes, he is. Now, Joey Logano finished top 10 in the last 12 Martinsville races. That's the 4th longest streak all time, but his last Martinsville win came in 2018. That was pre-Next Gen.
Wow, that was that battle with Martin Truex. I didn't realize that was that long ago, 2018. Now, Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson each finished in the top 5 in the last 3 Martinsville races. That's the longest active top 5 finish streaks at the track, and that's HMS. They seem to have Martinsville figured out. Maybe not as much in this next gen era, though.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Now, the 10 drivers led at least 100 laps at Martinsville in the next gen car. 8 of the 10 are current playoff drivers. Now, Joey Logano, too, I wanted to just mention, he's below the cut line right now.
He is. And when we look at 27 of the 35 top 5 finishes in this next gen car at Martinsville were by the current playoff drivers. That's what makes this one so tough to even talk about, because these drivers are all one on top of the other.
I think it's the most competitive top round of 8 drivers.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, 4 of the 5 short track races in 25 were won by current playoff drivers. So they've all won there on short tracks this season. So again, makes it hard to decide who's going to win this time.
And 6 of the 8 playoff drivers finished in the top 10 at Martinsville in the spring. So even looking back at the previous race this year, tough to tell.
Tough to tell. This is the 4th time that Joe Gibbs has had multiple cars in the championship 4. He's only won 1 of the prior 3. So we'll have to watch and see how that plays out this season. We won't know that until Phoenix.
And 12 of the last 16 races were won from the front row starting position, including all but 2 of the 8 playoff races. But 5 of the last 6 Martinsville races, they were run from a starting position of 11th or worse.
Interesting. Okay, now 7 races in 2025 ended with a last lap pass. That's the most ever in a single season.
And when we look at the last 6 races here in 2025, they've been won by 6 different drivers. So again, we just haven't seen a dominant driver. I know some stats show that they have been, but it's really not. It's been a mixture.
Now, Joe Gibbs Racing's 13 wins in 2025 are the team's 3rd most all time in a season, behind 19 in 2019, 14 in 2015. A JGR car won the championship both prior seasons. Something to keep in mind here. It might be their year.
Well, and continuing with JGR, they've won 5 of the last 8 races of 2025 with 3 different drivers. Denny Hamlin has 2, as does now Chase Briscoe, as well as Christopher Bell. So, and Bell's going to be one of those we're going to talk about whether or not he can get in.
All right. Now, the most wins by a team in the playoffs is 6, 3 times. Joe Gibbs Racing has 5 in the 2025 playoffs.
You want to talk about the importance of qualifying, not necessarily to get in the race, as everybody will make it, but it's pit stall selection. Pit stall number 1 is winless at Martinsville in the last 24 races there, but they still feel it's the best pit stall.
Isn't that crazy? That's a wild stat right there. Okay, now Hendrick Motorsports with 5, Joe Gibbs Racing with 5, and Team Penske with 4 have combined won the last 14 Martinsville races. That doesn't help us when we're looking for who can win this.
I was just thinking, I was like, well, that pretty much covers your playoff drivers now, doesn't it?
It does.
The winner of the Martinsville playoff race has gone on to win the championship in 4 of the last 9 seasons, not quite 50%.
And there were 8 speeding penalties at Martinsville in March. and 6 in this race last year. So that's something to keep your eye on this year too. A speeding penalty could really hurt you if you're contending to get into that top 4.
And we're talking about how competitive all these teams are. That's going to be, I think, the difference maker is these little things, such as a pit road mistake. So,
Yes.
yeah, that's definitely something to watch this weekend. Now, Kyle Larson leads all drivers with 1,106 laps led. It's his 3rd straight season leading over 1,000 laps and his 4th in 5 seasons with Hendrick Motorsports.
That's a pretty amazing stat. Now, Chase Briscoe has 15 top 5 finishes this year. He leads all drivers and are more than he has had in his career combined entering this season. So he's been a good fit in that number 19 with crew chief James Small.
And we talked about Christopher Bell and his chances. He's finished in the top 10 in the last 7 races. That's his longest Cup top 10 finish streak.
And Kyle Larson is currently on a 22 race winless streak. He's tied for the longest since joining Hendrick Motorsport.
Ooh, that is not one I had realized. I knew he hadn't been as dominant. Now, the final bubble to make the championship round has been 10 or less points in each of the last 6 seasons, and we're going to start looking at that as far as the points.
Yes, and no manufacturer has ever had 3 playoff cars sweep the round of 8 races. So we'll see what happens this weekend. But clinch scenarios are going to be really tight.
It is. This is race number 9 for the Cup Series. 2 drivers have now clinched their spot in the 4-driver field of the next round. That's the championship round at Phoenix. It is Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe. They are Toyotas from Joe Gibbs Racing, as you mentioned, looking to do the sweep as they did in the first round. Now, when we get to the point scenarios, if there's a repeat winner or win by a driver who cannot advance to the next round, drivers need to be ahead of the 3rd winless driver in the standings. The points would be the same if the new win comes from Christopher Bell or Kyle Larson. If it's not Bell, he would need 20 points. If it's not Larson, he would need 21 points. William Byron, Joey Logano, and Ryan Blaney all need a little bit of help. Now, if the new winner is from William Byron or another winless driver lower in the standings, then they have to be above the 2nd winless driver in the standings. Points go up a lot. Christopher Bell would need 54 points, Kyle Larson 55, and again, Byron, Logano, and Blaney would need some help. And that puts it, the only one didn't even talk about there, Chase Elliott, he is in that must-win situation. So jump over to the actual points standings page. Talked about Chase Briscoe and Denny Hamlin being locked in. Bell and Larson, the one I'm looking at, J-Ski shows at 1 point apart, 4107 to 4106. I know there were some conflicting reports on that when we talked about it the other night. But that puts the cut line at Kyle Larson at 4106. William Byron at 47, 4070 means he's 37 points or 36 points back. Again, mathematically possible. Joey Logano at 4068, 2 points behind that. And then another 8 points back to Ryan Blaney. Chase Elliott at 44, like I said, pretty much into a must-win situation. The key factor there is the points battle. Clearly, points battle going to be between Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson, and that's important because if the win comes from William Byron, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, or Chase Elliott, one of those 2 drivers would be out. So, yeah, their race is pretty much against one another. If Chase Briscoe or Christopher Bell or a non-playoff driver win, it don't matter. They're both in. But if it's not, it's going to be between points. So, yeah, those 2 are going to be keeping an eye on each other and their points all race long. I guarantee you that.
As it stands right now, you've got 3 Toyotas and 1 Chevy in the top 4. In the bottom 4, it's 2 Chevys and 2 Fords. So I know that Ford is going to want to have a bigger presence there, as is Chevy. So we'll see what happens. I would hate to see Christopher Bell out of it. because I think he deserves to be up there. Same thing with Kyle Larson. People don't want to see Kyle Larson out of it.
Absolutely not. And there again, I mean, how do you pick the 4 best out of these 8 best that we talked about? I mean, this is the most competitive, especially going into this race. We've talked about it. William Byron may not have the wins at Martinsville, but is good on the short tracks. It's a Hendrick Motorsports car. We know how that team does. Penske, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney have had wins there. And then again, you got Chase Elliott, not in the next gen car, but he's had his share of victories and good runs at Martinsville. So, man, I think it's going to be tough. You may not want to try and do a fantasy pick come Friday.
It's going to be tough. I can't wait to dig into the stats there, which I'll be doing tomorrow. You know, Chase Elliott is in a must-win situation. There's no doubt about it. 61 points available if you have a perfect race, but he's at 62 down, so he has to win. Even if he got max points, he would be out of it. So a win is the only way he's going to get in. Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, William Byron, all good at Martinsville, could very possibly win this race. And as you mentioned, if one of them win this race, that means Christopher Bell or Kyle Larson are going to be out. And these are all really, really good drivers. It's going to be sad to see any one of those drivers not make it into the championship 4. But again, it's going to be highly competitive when we get to Phoenix, because we've been talking a little bit offline about Chase Briscoe and Denny Hamlin being the 2 drivers that have wins. We know they're going to be racing at Phoenix, and who do you give the edge to? And Taz has told us he thinks the edge goes to Chase Briscoe because Chase Briscoe has a win in the next gen car at Phoenix, where Denny Hamlin does not.
Well, and that's one I heard all the talk on Sirius XM throughout the week. It's every other time. It favors this one. Well, it kind of favors this one. And that, too, goes back to this, no matter who we get in this final championship for. I think it's a matter of that, of it's just that competitive and tight. And, yeah, we've seen some drivers. Overall, Denny Hamlin has the 6 wins, but all the drivers have kind of gone through that hot streak stage. And right now, it seems like it's Chase Briscoe. Kyle Larson is coming back to form, though, right now at the right time of the season. Again, if we get Joey Logano or Ryan Blaney, we've seen that before. If they can get to Phoenix, they've dominated at Phoenix as far as getting the championship. Yep. So it's unbelievable how tight and competitive it has been this year.
It is really unbelievable. And I can't imagine how they think any other system would be more exciting than this.
Right, yeah.
Is mind-boggling to me. This has been, I was on the edge of my seat. And I can't remember when we were under the full point system, I can't remember a time that I was on the edge of my seat like I was at Talladega last week.
Like I said, I can only think of one season there, and that goes to the Alan Kwiecki, Bill Elliott, and Davey Allison championship battle. That's the only one that stands out in my mind. I'm not saying there haven't been others of 2 drivers. That one was 3, but just not enough. I mean, honestly. And again, I go back to being a Jeff Gordon fan. There were years where I was not even interested in Jeff Gordon's winning because it was happening with 3 races to go. He just had to finish 30th or better, in that final one, not finished dead last. They started another car, guaranteed it. Where's the excitement in that for those final races?
Or the ones where all they had to do was start the race and they had the championship in hand. So I just, it's not edge of your seat excitement about what's happening out there on the track and wondering who's going to make this happen, who's going to rise to the occasion and make this happen. I know I can't imagine what these drivers are going through.
Well, and that's what makes them premier athletes. I heard him comparing it, talking about basketball, of especially Michael Jordan. You want the ball to take that final shot. It was Joey Logano interview I heard with him. of, yeah, you lose more than you win necessarily, but you still want that opportunity because the ones you do make are the ones that stand out.
Exactly right. All right. Do watch for more coming soon here from Vampire Racing Radio. Jay and I have just completed all of our previews for Martinsville. I'm hoping that I also have somebody to help me out with the fantasy report on Friday. If that happens, we will be out with that on Friday. Otherwise, Taz isn't available. Jay's not available. And I just don't know that we can make that happen otherwise. So stay tuned. I'm not sure if we're going to have it this week or not. Also, on Monday, on the other side of the race weekend, we'll be back with all of the reviews. And of course, at 10 o'clock Eastern time is our live stream for our Hot Topic Sound Off conversation with Jay and Chris, where we discuss all the hottest topics from the weekend of racing. And I got to tell you, we're going to have some hot topics, I think, Jay.
Well, I think you and Sal are going to have some interesting review shows because, again, it will determine what happened and how that affects the championship floor. So I think your review shows come Monday are going to be pretty exciting as well.
Yes, indeed.
As we get ready to go here, I'm going to make a prediction, and it's not 100%, just my gut feeling. I think we're going to see one of those bottom four win the race, and it be a points battle between Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell. We'll have to see because, again, Briscoe, Bell, Larson, or Hamlin could win the race as well. I just get that gut feeling. I think it's going to be one of the bottom four. Obviously, your fan favorite is Chase Elliott. I think it's going to be I personally think it's going to be one of the two Penske. I think we're going to see a Ford in the championship floor. I really do.
Okay. Well, I hope you're right. I would like to see that.
Obviously, I know you're a Ryan Blaney fan. You can say it. You're not hoping for Joey Logano. You're hoping for Ryan Blaney.
I'm hoping for Ryan Blaney. You're right. I am a Ryan Blaney fan. There's just so much to like there in my point of view. But William Byron can do it. Joey Logano can do it. Chase Elliott can do it. Any one of those four drivers could come up with the win this weekend, and it's going to be a headache for Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson if that happens. And you know what? It's going to be sad. It's going to be sad.
Right. There's always the good and the bad.
Cooper is in that bottom four because they all want to make it up there. And it's kind of the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. We're going to feel the full force of that, I think, this weekend out at Martinsville Speedway.
The one reason I like to see that, again, the competitive nature, and hopefully in years to come, it will be 4 manufacturers or more. But to see each manufacturer represented, I think just adds to it. I understand if it's not, we've seen it where it's been 3 or 4 Chevys. We've seen it where it's been 3 or 4 Toyotas, 2 Fords. So they all have their moments, but I just like it when it's at least one from each. And I say hopefully next year or the years to come, it'll be 4 because Dodge will be back, hopefully.
Yes, indeed. I hope that happens for you, Jay. All right. So with that, we do want to say thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We really appreciate you taking the time to hear what we have to say. Jay and I have a lot of fun. I hope you can see that as we go through our preview shows. And we hope you enjoy watching as much as we enjoy doing this. And we hope you enjoy the race weekend this weekend because it's going to be a lot of fun. Feel free to leave comments in the comment section and tell us who you think is going to win these races because we'd love to hear from you and hear who you are rooting for this weekend out at Martinsville. And we'll definitely keep an eye on that. So again, thank you for watching. And Jay, anything you want to say before we go?
Yeah, if you don't enjoy the racing this weekend, I'm not sure you're a race fan. And if you don't see that Sharon and I enjoy this, we'll work on showing our enjoyment more than we already do.
Okay, well, take care, everybody, and enjoy your race weekend.